all you wonderful people, welcome back to MJLimey Reviews All. I am Martin, and today I will just take the time to say a thank you to Najro and King Seb for this next one. But before we do get into this next one, don't forget people, it is Christmas time, so get those Christmas song requests coming in the comment section down below, where I'll be picking a Christmas cracker for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day and Boxing Day. Any that don't get picked this year, they'll stay on the Christmas list, request list, and they may have a chance of getting picked next year. But that being said, this request from Najro and King Seb was a suggestion of checking out Sabaton's history channel page. So we'll be getting on with the first one, which is 40-1, the Battle of Wizna, Sabaton History 001 official. So without further ado, let's get into this. Let's see what it's all about. Here we go, peeps. Enjoy.
I'm Indy Nidell.
I'm Par from Sabaton, and this is Sabaton History.
Alright, that's cool, bro.
Contrary to popular opinion, Polish resistance when the Germans invaded in September 1939 was a lot stronger and more determined than you might think.
Our song 40-1, that song that made Sabaton popular in Poland, is just about that.
The song 40-1 is about the Battle of Wizna. Let's look at the history.
How a small detachment of around 720 Polish infantrymen held off more than 40,000 German soldiers for over 3 days. A story that has even entered Polish lore as the Polish Thermopylae, Polskie Thermopylae. Okay, September 1939. The German invasion of Poland has begun.
So silent before the storm.
Whoa.
Welcome to the world.
Waiting command. A few has been chosen to stand as one outnumbered by far. The orders from high command. Fight back, hold your ground. In early September it came, a war unknown to the world.
Now, Poland will soon also be invaded by the Soviet Union, and within 6 weeks will be divided by those two great powers. But we're still in the first week of the German invasion. On the 7th, the 19th Army Corps of Heeresgruppe Nord, part of the German 3rd Army under General Heinz Guderian, was quickly advancing to try and cross the river Biebrzę, a tributary of the river Narew, east of the town of Wizna. By doing so, it would be able to encircle the Polish Narew Corps and then close in on Warsaw from the northeast. Now, the Polish army had begun building defense works around the strategic crossing where the Biebrzę and Narew meet since early 1939, when the possibility of war began really looming. The crossing is surrounded by swamps and bogs, so a system of echelon bunkers and pillboxes on the hills overlooking the rivers would be a serious threat to any army trying to make a crossing. Thing is, as the German Panzer Corps approached, the defense works were not completed. Only 12 major bunkers were battle ready, and there were a few machine gun pillboxes spread out over 2 actual lines of defense. The big flaw, though, was that the system did not have any larger anti-tank guns or mortars, and with a force of 350 tanks approaching, this flaw was now a major problem. The Polish defenders, commanded by Captain Władysław Raginis, had quickly thrown up some anti-tank obstacles, prepared the forward approach with trenches and barbed wire, and mined the riverbanks. Raginis himself had chosen the bunker in the middle as his command post, but, you know, he must have known that with only 6 7.6 guns, a few dozen machine guns, and only a pair of anti-tank rifles, he could not hope to hold out forever. But as German planes dropped propaganda leaflets from the skies urging the Poles to surrender, Raginis vowed that he would, in fact, die trying.
Wow, very, very, very brave.
The rage of the Reich. A barrage of mortars and guns stand fast, the bunkers will hold. The captain has pledged his life. I'll face my fate here. The sound of artillery strike, so fierce the thunder of guns.
The first skirmish between German and Polish recon units was fought for the village of Wizna on the 7th, but the Poles gave up what was an undefendable village without serious resistance. So already at the beginning of the action, it looks like the Poles have been routed, but they haven't given up and they have not fled. They have retreated back over the river into the safety of their bunkers. The Germans pursued them, but Polish engineers blew the bridges to stop them. The battle had begun. German heavy artillery was brought up and pounded the Polish positions throughout the remainder of the day. The Polish artillery was no match for this and was forced to withdraw, but the Polish bunkers held. Stuka bombardments from the air also failed to break them, since the walls of those bunkers were over 1.5 meters thick and reinforced with steel plates. German assault troops came next, attacking over the next 2 days, but as soon as they crossed the river, they were hit by machine gun fire from the forward Polish pillboxes. Suffering heavy casualties, they were forced to retreat time and again. However, the evening of the 8th, as German tanks began to cross, and with no adequate measures to deal with them and overall limited ammunition, the Polish infantry withdrew from their forward lines near the river to the safety of the bunkers. The German tanks rolled over and through those lines, but their guns could not penetrate the bunkers, nor could they provide enough cover for the infantry to follow. It was a somewhat bizarre stalemate. Yet, without help from any reinforcements or any real anti-tank capability, the Polish soldiers were now trapped. Another flaw in the bunker system now became apparent. The major bunkers were sometimes too far away from each other to provide adequate support and could not cover each other's blind spots. So it turned out that the Germans were able to attack and isolate them one after the other. The first bunkers to fall were the ones just across the Narev River. Concentrated heavy artillery bombardment and advancing tanks forced the defenders to flee or else be completely encircled. The other bunkers held out until the 10th. But in the early morning that day, after 3 days of holding off 40-to-1 odds, the Poles faced defeat, as small platoons of German combat engineers could finally take out the damaged bunkers with explosives, with tanks providing covering fire. One after the other was destroyed, and the Germans closed in on Captain Raginis' command center. Most of his company was reportedly either dead or wounded, and the ammunition was nearly finished. Captain Raginis finally ordered his men to surrender their weapons, since the battle, that they could not win, was effectively over. True to his word, though, Captain Raginis died by clutching a grenade to his body in his command bunker. They had held out for over 3 days against some of the strongest forces in the entire German army. That is the story of the Polish Thermopylae. According to some, Guderian threatened to shoot Polish prisoners if they did not give up. Though that seems unlikely since the battle was already won and it's out of character for Guderian. But okay, it's possible. We don't know for sure. And this is important here. First-hand sources on the battle are fairly few. The German battle records don't really mention the engagement, and Polish sources differ on the strength of the defenders. So we don't have any concrete number of casualties or what happened to the Polish prisoners taken in the battle. Now, this battle, its story, has entered the realm almost of myth, and you may be skeptical of not just the details, but the overall concept. But let me be the first to put that to rest for you. This battle is what Sabaton chose to write a song about, but there are several other shining examples of determined and excellent Polish defense against overwhelming odds during the German invasion. The Battle of the Bzura, the defense at Hel Peninsula, even the remarkable evacuation of LOT, the Polish national airline, of its planes, machine tools, and factory equipment to Bucharest in the face of dual invasion, all attest to the grit and will of the Polish defenders, with which you might not be familiar, because already during the war, the Allies crafted a narrative of a heavily inferior Poland, easily overrun by the mighty Germans, in order to reinforce how aggressive and dangerous Nazi Germany was. So, the idea of Polish horsemen fighting hopelessly against tanks, dive bombers, and heavy artillery was reinforced in films and articles and has stuck as the popular version of the beginning of World War II. but it wasn't so.
Always remember a fallen soldier. Always remember fathers and sons at war. Always remember a fallen soldier. Always remember you lived in history.
Per is now going to tell you some things you may not know about the song itself. I was here to tell you the story of the battle and even use it as a metaphor for a spirited defense against an overwhelming enemy. Well, two enemies as it turned out. And just a note here, after the invasion of Poland, and even with the speed of its success, Adolf Hitler's generals warned him time and again to wait before attacking in Western Europe, which he originally planned to do already in October 1939, because the strong Polish defense had shown them their own weaknesses, and they did not think that they were yet strong enough to win.
Now, you said that this was the song that really made you famous in Poland. How did that happen? Was it planned or just one of those things?
Oh no, it was not planned at all. So we were sitting in the backstage area at the Sweden Rock Festival in our tour bus,
Right.
watching internet, there was something going on, so much attention towards a fan-created video on YouTube, which suddenly gained a lot of views and
A
comments.
fan-created Sabaton video.
Yes,
So you had nothing to do with this.
we didn't have anything to do with this video, and it became wildly popular in a short period of time. By then, this is in 2008, you have different charts on YouTube. You have
Right.
historical, political, musical charts on YouTube. And we were top charting of all of them.
In the
So-
world.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And it was 40-1. It was a Polish guy that made this video.
Yes.
So what happened? Did you were number one for weeks or?
No, it was just for a few days before this was taken off. There was a copyright infringement and the video was taken down and blocked after a few days.
Right.
However, it reached around to a lot of fans all across the country of Poland,
Yeah.
including it reached to a descendant of the captain that we sing about in the song.
Right.
And this guy was a filmmaker, contacting us, wanted to do an official music video for the song 40-1.
Right.
So we went down to Poland to where the battle actually took place,
Right.
to Wizna, where we filmed some footage when we were walking around in the battlefield, in the scenery, and we also played a concert
Yeah.
in Gdansk where we used live footage to cut this together to an official music video.
Wow. Okay. And now by this time, because of the video and stuff, was there like a big Sabaton hype in Poland? I mean, what happened there?
Well, suddenly Sabaton got a very big hype inside of Poland.
But was it just among like the Polish kids, or was it like across Polish society? And
I think it was all across the society.
Okay.
And it was mainly a lot of the older generation who
Yeah.
find this very interesting. Because this was a story who could unite the Polish people. Students wanted to read about this
Okay.
and not about the propaganda that was written in the history books
Sure.
that they grew up reading about.
then did you continue doing like bigger tours of Poland, or?
We kept doing more and more tours in Poland. And in 2009, we came back for what we called Always Remember Tour. And it was for a couple of shows all across Poland. One of those shows
Yeah.
was actually at the battlefield
Okay. At Wizna.
in Wizna.
Wow.
Actually,
Nice.
70 years to the hour after the battle.
Right.
And the opening act was a full reenactment of the battle, including mortar attacks and tanks and soldiers
And planes?
and it was a very, very intense opening ceremony.
So the
for
whole
it.
battle, they did the.
Yes,
brilliant.
until today, that is still the coolest band that ever opened for us.
It's the coolest band that ever opened for anybody, Per.
We also did a show in Gdansk where we were approached by somebody we did not expected to come to a Sabaton concert. So we were sitting backstage just before the show is gonna be.
Yeah.
The promoter of the concert comes into our dressing room and he explains, you have a little bit different kind of person here tonight. And we're like, okay, so who is that? Well, it's actually the Archbishop.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. The Archbishop.
Yeah, we didn't see that coming either. He came onto the stage and a lot of people were complaining about it and booing, but he said only a few simple words, and he said that the church bows to a male band. And then he gave us this sword from the treasury of the Church of Poland.
That is so cool. And just think how that is when a song, a person or a people or a nation can take a song to heart and make it so important to their lives like that. That's got to feel really good.
It feels great, and the song has kind of permanently edged itself to Sabaton.
Oh, yeah.
And I do not believe that we could get away alive by going to Poland, play a show, and not performing 40 to 1. It's a permanent song in the Sabaton catalog.
And you know what? Here's how it looks.
I hope you all find that interesting. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button to stay engaged with MJLimey Reviews All.
Always remember, you lived in history. No army may enter that land that is protected by Polish hands. Unless you are 40 to 1, your force will soon be undone. Baptized in fire, 40 to 1. Spirit of Spartan's death and glory. Soldiers of Poland, second to none. Wrath of the Wehrmacht brought to a halt. No, no, no!
All right, everyone, here's the deal.
Hey.
Subscribe to Sabaton History, but also the regular Sabaton channel. And don't forget to check out World War II and the Time Ghost channel. Also, if you like more of this
Already
stuff,
done, mate.
check
Already
right here
done.
for a playlist of cool videos like this. And if you like this and you want to see more like this, please remember to support us on Patreon, all right? It really helps this thing happen. Take care, everyone.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I found that very, very interesting indeed. I hope you all did too. And I hope you taught you and...
I'm Indy Nidell.
Whoa. I hope it taught you something. I hope it teach you a little bit about history that maybe you didn't know already. But wow, just to find out all that stuff and that they literally put their lives on the line, like literally 720 to what was it? I think did they say like 40? Was it like 40,000? So it was literally like 40 to 1. Incredible to put yourselves on the line like that, to fight for your country is just amazing. And honestly, we deserve, like these people deserve to be remembered for what they did for their country, each and every single one of them. So let's just take some time to remember them all, and may all their families and loved ones be proud of what they did for fighting and defending their country, because what an amazing achievement by these Polish soldiers. It really, really is, and a massive and incredible achievement for each and every one of them fighting the Germans out there in the Battle of Wizna. So shout out to every single one of them and their loved ones and families. God bless you all, honestly. Amazing, amazing people. That being said, if you really, really liked watching that today and you learned anything from that and enjoyed watching that history video there of 40 to 1 of the Battle of Wizna, and the Polish people that put their lives on the line to defend their country against the Germans, then do go support Sabaton, show them some love. Go to the link in my description. I'll put the Sabaton History link in there and their channel page. Go click the subscribe button. Go click on the original as well. The link will be in my description down below. Go watch it in its entirety. Hit a like button, share the content around people. And honestly, like if you want to support me because you like my reaction to that, or anything of what I have just said here, then do, if you want to support me, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you stay engaged with MJLimey Reviews All, hit the bell notification so you never miss another video by MJLimey Reviews All. And if you can get the content shared around to help me get to my next major goal of 2,000 subscribers, that would be much appreciated. But yes, I'm not going to do like a telling you. Oh, actually, do you know what? I'll just tell you about everybody that's in Sabaton and a bit of their background. Obviously, we've just had the history of what the song is about, so I don't need to do that. You've already watched that part. But I will just refresh your memory of who is in the band and a bit about their history. So bear with me while I just pull that up. Here we go. Okay, peeps, I'm back. So the official lineup for Sabaton, for anybody that doesn't know who they are, is Joachim Broden, who generally does lead vocals and keyboards. Per Sundström on bass guitar, backing vocals, and also a band manager, according to this, what I found out. Then Chris Ruelahand on guitar and backing vocals. Then Tommy Johansson, guitar, backing vocals. Last but not least, Hannes van Dole on drums and backing vocals. And a little bit of short history of about Sabaton. Sabaton is a Swedish power metal band formed in Falun, Sweden in 1999. They're famous for combining heavy metal with real military history, writing songs about wars, heroes and historical battles from all over the world. Their lyrics often focus on bravery, sacrifice and the human side of war. Sabaton's unique concept earned them a huge international fan base, and they even launched the Sabaton History channel, blending their music with detailed historical storytelling to educate and entertain. Over time, they've become one of the most recognisable and respected bands in modern metal. So that's a little bit about what I have found out on Sabaton today. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings, opinions, what you liked about this history part of their, let me know what you thought of the first video from their history channel, which was 40-1 and the Battle of Wizna. So do let me know your thoughts, feelings, opinions, what you liked, what you disliked, what about the music that you really enjoy for Sabaton. And if you can add any more context and details that may have been missed out from the story of Battle of Wizna from this video. But I thought it was very interesting, very great to hear this story and what the Polish soldiers did on the Battle of Wizna. And what they actually put themselves through, and even I think it was Lieutenant or Captain Ragnis who died sort of with that readied with the grenade on his chest. From what I remember from watching that video just now, absolutely incredible. I mean, every single one of these soldiers that put themselves on the line are just absolutely fantastic people, and they deserve to be remembered. So let's all take time to remember them, people. But as I say, let me know your thoughts, feelings and opinions on that one. If you want more Sabaton history, do get those requests coming in. If you want any more Sabaton, get those requests coming in as well. If you want absolutely anything else, get those requests coming in as well, people. Don't forget the Christmas song request as well for this upcoming 24th, 25th and 26th of December. But I am going to get out of it to let you all enjoy your fantastic evenings now. But before I do, don't forget, stay amazing, keep being amazing, keep smiling, put a smile on somebody else's face, and I will be back with some more content very soon. Looking forward to it. See you all soon. Bye.